In this video, I'd like to give a brief overview on how to analyze late gadolinium enhanced images. So I'm going to go to the ribbon and click on the LGE icon, and that will take me to a bunch of series that suiteHEART has identified as late gadolinium enhanced images. And I'm going to choose the series of short axis images. And if these images have not already been analyzed as part of pre-processing, I'm going to click on the lightning bolt and have it automatically analyze the images for me. Now, if I want to take a look at an overview of what the analysis looks like, I can click on this window here. If I double click on it, I bring up the review window, and you can see the area of the infarct that has been identified here in pink. And you can use Control-T to turn on and off the annotation to see how good a job it did at identifying the infarct as well as the left ventricular endocardial and epicardial borders. If I want to edit any of these, I can just double click on the slice that I want to edit, and that takes me to the edit window. And you can see there's an area of enhancement that was not identified. So there are several ways one can adjust this. This method, the default method, is the full width at half max method. You can adjust the threshold. So I can adjust that here, and you can see it adjusts the identification of late gadolinium enhancement. I could also have taken this tool here and drawn an ROI, and anything within the ROI would be identified as late gadolinium enhancement. And if there are areas that shouldn't have been identified, I can click on this eraser, and there's two different sizes, and I can erase any pixels that were misidentified as enhancement. If there's areas of microvascular obstruction, I can use this tool to draw those in as well. If I'd like to see how the data are being organized into the different 16 segments, I can turn on the sector overlay, and that will show me on a slice-by-slice basis what is included in each sector, and you can adjust their position by adjusting the location of the RV insertion point. So if I select the RV insertion point here and move it, it will update the sectors based on the position of that point. Alternatively, if I want to display the images as just a concentric set of rings, I can do that. And if I want to look at it in tabular format, I can click on this icon here. But I tend to use the 16 segment model. If you don't want to use the full width half max method for identifying abnormal enhancement, you can choose instead a number of different standard deviations, typically maybe 5. But then you'll need to place a region of interest in a normal area of myocardium, as I'm doing here. And then you can see that the abnormal areas of infarction are now identified. Now, if you think that the identification is not ideal, you could change the number of standard deviations, for instance, from 5 to 4 to include more pixels, or from 4 to 6 for fewer pixels. After you're happy with the segmentation and the identification of the infarct, you can get the standard values from this table here. I hope this brief introduction to the quantitative assessment of late gadolinium enhancement has been helpful. If you'd like more detailed information, you can find it in the instructions for use, which is underneath the Help menu. Thank you very much.